In the history of Formula One, the highest class of open-wheeled auto racing, there have been over 1,000 Grand Prix championship races to date. There have been 774 Formula One drivers. 5 of those drivers have been female. The last time a woman competed in championship was 1992. Now, a new generation of female drivers continue the fight for their place in history. They are the fastest women in the world. This is their fight to the top of the most elite and dangerous motorsport. Embark on a journey and discover what it takes to be beyond driven.
Lella and her name has been undervalued in a way because the silent from 92 up to today is very embarrassing.
It's incredible when you think about it. 40, 50 years ago, when she was racing in Formula One, where people were getting hurt every weekend, people getting killed very often. You didn't know if you were gonna come alive back to your family. The cars, as you said, not as safe as they are now, and the world much closer for women.
I think back when she raced, like, everything was completely different. Nowadays, the cars are really different. They have much more data systems and so, and as well, in general, life was different. Like, women were not as much accepted into racing as they are now. So, yeah, I think it's very different for her.
Obviously, when Lella achieved what she did in 75, that's quite a long time ago now. And really, when you think about it, from 75 to 2019, you think, wow, has it really been that long since a female achieved something so good and getting in the top 6 and getting a point? Yeah, it kind of makes me feel a little bit sad that a female has not, you know, been able to achieve that recently.
Yes, I remember that I was very proud because everyone knew about my aunt, and even if I was young, but her name was well known, and sometimes we used to watch in television my aunt, so I was really proud. But clearly the name of Lella was all around, and in the little village, Lella Lombardi was the big name. Lella Lombardi came from a family that we could say middle class. They were not poor, but they were not rich. Inside a small village, they used to have a production of meat, so they were butchers. Their education was at that time the average, not academic, but just lower. But they were very, in a way, central in the life of the village. So they were very well known. Everyone knew about Lombardi family.
Lella Lombardi always had a passion for sports. When she was a teenager, Lella played in a local handball team as a back. In one of their most memorable matches, Lella's coach gave her a tough assignment. The opposing team had an aggressive forward, and she was asked to stop her from scoring. Young Lella's determination proved to be hard as metal as she prevented the star forward from scoring a single goal. 5 minutes from the end, the blonde opponent had enough. She punched Lella on the nose with the ball, sending her crashing to the floor. Lella's team won the match, but no one was aware that one of their teammates had suffered a broken nose. After the match, Lella was waiting at the bus stop with her nose buried in a handkerchief. When a blue Alfa Romeo pulled up, it was the blonde forward. "Come on, I'll take you to the hospital," she said. Lella jumped in, and the pair headed for St. Marguerite Hospital, a half an hour's drive away. The young woman quickly realized the severity of Lella's injury and proceeded to drive like crazy. Pushing the horn continuously, she zigzagged between cars, even crossing the tram lines and riding the pavement to gain time. They arrived at the hospital in 10 minutes. Lella forgot all her troubles. She was totally overcome with excitement. On this day, her life changed forever. Not from the surgery, but because her soul was now on fire with passion for speed.
Big crowds here, enjoying the bank holiday. Admittedly not bank holiday weather, but certainly the on-track action will be warmer than the climate as the way. And it's Alice Powell who jumps into the early advantage as they arrive into Walthall for the first time. That's James Cross swooping through in second. The rest of the pack will clean through. There's Dave Priscus.
When I jumped into a Formula Renault, I just remember the wheels right in front of you, just the gear stick down here, different steering wheel, and as soon as I put my foot down to go, the power instantly there, and it was just incredible.
So Alice Powell leads, and
In 2010, Alice Powell became the first woman to win a Formula Renault championship.
Alice Powell, really, it's great to see international racers of her calibre attracted to the F3 car.
I can remember just having a smile on my face, as big as anything, and it was very cold, but I didn't let that get me down.
As Alice Powell powers through, so this has just been a
In 2012, she became the first woman to score points in the GP3 series. And in 2014, took first place in the international class of Asian Formula Renault series.
Plants the right foot, crest steer lead. Are we going to see the checker flag on this occasion? Yes, we do, and it's victory in the opening round of the 2013 F3 Cup. Let's take a look at the classification. Victory for Alice Powell, 8 seconds.
So my life growing up, I was a huge sports fan, still am now. I was into football, rugby, cricket, athletics, motorsport, you name it. I loved watching it, I loved playing it. I was very hyperactive, so yeah, I can imagine I was quite a handful at home and at school. Yeah, rumour has it, I have heard many stories about me being quite naughty and quite active. But yeah, I guess I'm still the same now, well, not naughty, I don't think.
So yes, loads of embarrassing photos in here. And my first ever time karting as well. My first ever time sitting in a kart back in 2001. You notice in a lot of the photos I'm always wearing like a Ferrari t-shirt, Ferrari hat, my Michael Schumacher hat.
When I tried karting for the first time, because my sister Paula, she took me to a rental go-kart track near our house, and we bought a 5-minute ticket, and I fall in love with the speed, with the adrenaline, and I just sort of wanted every day more and more, and I think that's how I discovered my real passion, but I've always been a sports lover.
I started racing when I was 8, and I started racing go-karts. It's always been part of my life. It's always been a central part of my life since I was a kid, since I was 8, 10 years old.
Before I started racing, I was really, really young because I started racing when I was 5. I got my first go-kart, which was like a baby kart, really small engine, is not really going fast.
I was 11 years old, and my dad used to race. He was racing single-seater as well, but he had his old go-kart, and a friend of his, he was repairing it, and then he said, oh, maybe I want to get it back for my daughters, and maybe they can, try it and go around the house, because we had like a garden and things. And then he bring it to the house, and then my sister went into the go-kart, and she was like, oh, I don't like it much. It's too fast. And then when I jumped on there, I was like, oh my God, what is this? And I don't know, I even remember that moment. I was 11 years, and I remember exactly that time when I jumped on there, and I felt something different. And from there, my dad was taking me to racetracks. And then that's when you start to realize what it is to drive fast, to be in a truck. And suddenly one day, we thought about why not racing, against all the other boys that were racing with me at that time.
The first car I raced was a kart. The first thing I ever stepped into a vehicle, a moving machine, was a kart, and it was back in 2014. And I won my last race in Arman in 2017 as the first female Arab to win a race in karting. So it was a huge deal because I was competing against the best in Europe. And winning that race felt amazing, and I felt like if I could win this race, then I could win in many other races.
My first win was like a surprise to me. It was my first season ever in karting. I ever joined that championship. And in the last race of that exact season, for my first time joining karting, I won that last race. It was back in 2016. It was amazing, amazing feeling. What drives me always back to motorsports is the feeling I have when racing, when competing, when winning. It's just the best feeling ever.
I remember the karting days, even when I was winning. the dads of the kids that I was beating, they were always complaining of, oh, her cart is probably faster than my kids, and she's not being fair, or they had to find an excuse for me to beat them, and that just always motivated me even more to prove that I was better in whatever condition they wanted to put me in. So even sometimes, my dad was so pissed and so tired of people saying that it was because the card was better than, he said, you know what, you take her card and she will race in the other one, or you can take her engine, there's no problem, we can race with yours. And I would still beat them.
And beat them, she did. During her karting years, Tatiana was constantly rammed and intimidated by her male opponents. But champions don't cry.
In a way, like motorsport is like a drug, and the adrenaline, you just want more and more and more, and every year that passes, I love what I do more and more, and I think I'm so privileged to be able to do what I love most.
Calderon became the first woman to win national karting championships in Colombia and the United States. Today, Tatiana is the highest-ranked woman in Formula racing. She is competing for the Formula 2 championship and test drives for Alfa Romeo Formula 1.
I can remember as a child, there's quite a few sacrifices. Obviously, when you're growing up, you're at school and with all your friends, and they're all going and doing these activities at the weekend, going to parties. And I can kind of remember feeling, a little bit sad sometimes that I had to go karting. Obviously, I'd love to go karting, and I chose the karting over going to the parties. But almost as a kid, you'd feel, oh, but I want to do both.
You have to sacrifice all your weekends when you're coming out from school. You have the weekends, and then all your friends are like, oh, let's go to the cinema, let's do this, or like many things that, when you're like a child, you want to explore and do. So I remember I was like, not giving up, but I was choosing to go to the racetrack instead of like doing any other plans that a child can do with that age.
Growing up, as a driver, I had to face a lot of sacrifices. So going to friends' birthday parties, I couldn't go because I had training. I couldn't, most of the time, I couldn't see my friends because of racing. Family gatherings and weddings, we couldn't attend because of racing. We were traveling a lot, and we were very committed to what we do. But in the end, we both know that it pays off. I mean, this is what we really want. We don't really care.
The sacrifices are that you are committing 100%, because you can only do it if you commit 100% to a sport that gives you no types of, you're never certain you actually will stay here and do this forever. You can't give yourself really much options. You need to stay here, you need to stay in the track, you need to stay with the cars, whatever you do.
Many sleepless nights, Lella walked onto her balcony and dreamt of fast cars. As a teenager, she raced motorcycles with the boys in her village. The boys were flabbergasted that she won, their mothers shocked that a young woman would race at all. Eventually, the village priest came to call on the Lombardi household. He explained I should be like a girl and what a girl must do, she remembers. So I told him, yes, Father, but all the time I was thinking, why am I not allowed to do as I want? In 1959, Maria Grazia Lella Lombardi's first job was to drive the delivery van for her family's butcher shop, as neither of her parents drove. Lella's mother suggested settling down with a nice husband and a bambino, using the butcher business for financial security. Lella made up her mind to become a racing driver instead. She collected all her hard-earned money and went to driving school. She practiced with a friend's Fiat and in 3 months' time got a license. Immediately after, Lella bought a Fiat with the help of her older brother. She didn't care about handball anymore.
Do you remember any stories that your father maybe told you about when they were children?
My father told me was very proud to have been able to buy the first car to Lella. That is the one, something that he always used to remember.
And wow, cool. Yes, it works.
Cecilia driving, my daughter. Scusate, sono Patrizia Lombardi. Non è che riuscite a aprirmi il cancello? Andiamo solo a fare un piccolo sopralluogo. Grazie, ciao. She had in her blood the racing. She loved always the power of driving. But I think the real drive for her was because she was woman. And I remember that she was very, very proud of herself, telling me the story of a racing in US when she couldn't take part of a racing course because she was woman and they didn't allow her, and she was so angry. She told me, she came back and said, Patrizia, you know that this happened, and I remember this story very well. I think that she had to make a lot of effort to have herself recognized as a great racer and driver, and as a person, because at that time it was incredible that sport was only for men, but also everyday life was very much men-focused.
Però la realtà è che non ti accettano. Ti accettano quando stai molto indietro rispetto a loro, quando cominci ad arrivargli sotto, a partire a avere delle pole position o a partire in prima, in seconda fila. Non ti parlano neanche più nei box. Nella pit lane i piloti neanche ti rivolgono la parola. Nessuno vorrebbe stare dietro una donna, sinceramente neanche io.
They definitely change their attitude a lot. You know, before the weekend starts or before the season starts, everybody smiles at you, you smile back. And then once you're there and you're beating them, they don't even look at you in the eyes. It's a mental game as well outside of the track. So they start to look at you differently. They don't start to greet you. They don't smile at you. So you see the change of attitude straight away. And I've always thought to myself, this is a great sign, because that means they're taking me seriously.
You're all racing against each other in the field or the series that you're in. So you have your friends, you know, maybe off track, but as soon as you're on track, usually you've got no friends. Obviously, your teammates you have to be slightly wary of.
I don't hate anybody, but I don't love anybody also. So it's a fine line, so that once you're racing, you're there to beat anybody, regardless of if they were nice to you at lunch.
One day, Lella met a young man who turned out to be a racing driver. As soon as she found out, she followed him everywhere. Her tenacity paid off, and she was put in charge of changing tires, spark plugs, and timing laps. On one occasion, the man entered his Alfa Romeo into a rally race, and Lella was his co-driver. She enjoyed the high-speed weekend so much, she persuaded her friend to swap places for the next event. When Lella appeared in the driving seat, the other drivers patronizingly smiled at her. Lella was enraged at their reaction and put all her anger into driving and won her debut race. After that tremendous success, she was given the chance to drive an Alfa Romeo in the Italian Touring Car Championship. The Alfa Romeo was followed by a BMW, and then Lella's attention turned to single-seater racing.
I always had clear that I wanted to reach Formula One. I think because I come from Colombia and Juan Pablo Montoya was reaching Formula One when I started karting. So I saw him as my role model, and I wanted to be in the most competitive championship in the world. So I always had it quite clear in my mind. It just took a little bit longer to convince people around me.
Won her first open-wheel race at Sebring International Raceway. Soon after, she became the first woman to stand at the podium in the British F3 International Series, and the first to lead a lap in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship.
Here they come then, Verstappen looking for a way through. Verstappen, he's losing out because round the outside of him has gone Tatiana Calderon, who's trying to find a way past Rosenqvist. He's gone backwards. Max Verstappen has been overtaken by Tatiana Calderon here.
Like I said, many of my friends just think you just sit there, just turn the wheel, press the pedals, away you go, easy peasy. But actually there's a lot of forces that are on your body, whether it's from karting or being in a Formula car.
Then the physical side of the sport as well is so demanding. People don't realize how much you have to train to drive those cars. Also, as a woman, you get 30% less lean muscle than men, so you have to compensate that with more training.
I think the only difference as a woman to race compared to guys is, men are just stronger than women. So I would just have to train more physically to be at the same level, but it's not something unreachable. So it's been, I've been able to do it. I go to the gym to do strength training. I do lots of cycling, running as well, and especially a lot of core training and neck training, and you get lots of G-force.
Lella advanced on to Italian Formula 3, where she came in second place after Franco Barnabé. In 1970, she raced and won in a Baraghi at the Italian Formula 850 series. In 73, Lella qualified for the prestigious Monaco F3 race, driving a Brabham for Scuderia Italia. Her biggest success came that same year at the Ford Mexico Championship, in which Lella took first place and became champion. Coming off that championship win, she advanced to her first single-seater race in Italy's Formula Monza. She worked tirelessly and made her way up to fourth place in the British Formula 5000 Championship. And in '74, she arrived. Lella Lombardi had her first appearance in Formula 1 at the Rothmans 5000 Championship. At that fateful race at Brands Hatch in Britain, the world would come to know a new hero, an extraordinary driver they never saw coming. Lella Lombardi prepared her Lola T330 with Chevrolet V8 engine for a race that would see her become the first woman to compete in Formula 1 racing in 15 years. Lella's presence on the grid drew spectators, curious about the woman from Frugarolo and what was possible. Despite strong opposition from male drivers, despite an imperfect engine, Lella Lombardi didn't give up without a fight. With nothing but her car, her passion, and determination, she shocked the world and finished in fourth place. When asked during an interview by news reporters about her Formula 1 debut, Lella said, "I know that in Formula 1 it will not be easy, but I'm not afraid at all. If the car is okay, it's not impossible." Lella had to battle hard for a chance to compete, as her debut in Formula 1 put her up against the most formidable competition, in the likes of Niki Lauda, James Hunt, and Emerson Fittipaldi.
Silverstone, the day of the British Grand Prix, round 10 of the 1975 World Championship. Hesketh driver James Hunt. The reigning champion Emerson Fittipaldi. He's driving a Texaco Marlboro McLaren, as is Niki Lauda in Ferrari number 12. Italy's glamour girl of the circuits, Lella Lombardi, a rose among thorns in this race. She's the only lady driver.
Sponsorship is absolutely vital for racing. Unfortunately, it's not a cheap sport at all, and the level of money and finance that you need behind you to get yourself up the ladder is a hell of a lot.
In 1974, Lella's car, a Lola T330 sponsored by Radio Luxembourg and Shell Sport, got her 4 fourth-place finishes. But more power was needed to compete, so Lella switched to a Ford-engined Brabham BT42 for the British Grand Prix. The car, run by Hexagon Racing, had been rented from Bernie Ecclestone with the help of the Radio Luxembourg team. Unfortunately, the rented, borrowed car was not competitive, and Lella failed to qualify.
Yeah, for racing, sponsorships is one of the main things. I mean, it's a very expensive sport, and yeah, without sponsors, you will not get anywhere. Yeah, that's been one of the hardest parts of my career so far, to find the funding to race every year.
Sponsorship is extremely important in motorsport because it's not like other sports where you can train them every day. You go to a tennis center and you train every day or in every surface. Here it requires a lot of engineers, a lot of logistics, the circuit, and it all brings more expenses. Then also the best teams, they charge more than the not so good teams, and it's a huge difference also in terms of the results you can get.
Yeah, so when I joined Red Bull, obviously I was very happy, and yeah, we set a goal that we wanted to win the championship, as the year before went really well. Yeah, unfortunately we had some issues during that year which caused that we couldn't get the results. Yeah, then by the end of the year we decided, yeah, I wouldn't continue with Red Bull for another year, obviously. That's a big disappointment, but...
It doesn't just affect us female drivers, but, you know, I know many male drivers as well that have done fantastically, but unfortunately fallen by the wayside just because of sponsorship.
What I've really learned is that you must not focus on the things that you can't control, on the things that don't depend on you.
I don't like to call it the sponsors. I call my sponsors partners.
You're salty with me because life ain't fair. You follow the rules and it got you nowhere. It seems.
From 2015 to 2017, Carmen Jorda drove as a development driver for the Lotus and Renault Sport Formula One teams, making her the 11th woman in history to join a Formula One driver lineup.
My own rules.
Because at the end of the day, if they associate themselves to you and you to them, it's beneficial for both sides. So you're giving them something good, but they're giving you something good as well. That obviously, you know, is like many different ways of support. You just need to find the ones that go with yourself, with your profile, with how you are. Because there are like many different brands out there. Motorsport is a very unique sport. So if they like that association and that sport, is because they see values on that sport and on you. Some of them, they like, you know, they like the sport. Some of them, they like the fact that you're a woman. You know, at the end of the day, I think that I do what I think is good for me, what I like. I consider myself a driver, but I do different things as well. Like I'm part of the FIA Commission, you know, campaigns with fashion brands. I do different things that I think they complement myself and I feel good about it. So why I will not do it because someone is criticizing me? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so in 2017 I joined the BMW Junior team. Yeah, so far it's been a massive help for me. I mean, they're just supporting me, they're making sure I can race, and yeah, I'm now in the last year of the junior program, so hopefully I can really show them what I'm worth and get further with them.
What got me to Formula Racing was, of course, the sponsorship from Kaspersky Lab. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have reached this far in motorsports. Because I remember at the end of my season, I thought, nah, now racing is over for me. I have to focus on my studies. And then last minute, Kaspersky Lab was committed in sponsoring me and taking me to within the best team, Prema Power Team, and in the best, most prestigious championship in Europe.
A lot of people say, well, you're a female, so come on, surely it's easy to get sponsorship. And you think, yeah, if only. But, you know, sometimes I've gone to companies to get sponsorship, and they've said, well, it's not really a female racing. You know, it's not really for us. Well, actually, I know what they really want to say is females can't drive. You can tell by looking at their face, that's what they really want to say.
Sometimes when you don't have those privileges or those opportunities, you really need to make sure that you do the homework really well, and that when you're in the car, you have to be at your 100% to show that even if you don't have all that support, you can still perform at a very high level.
propositamente. Cioè non è stato il momento migliore che ho passato nella Formula 1. Ho passato migliori momenti nelle formule minori che quello in Formula 1, perché avevo tutta l'attenzione su di me. C'era Ayrton Senna che faceva la pole position e Giovanna Amati che non si qualificava. Lo stesso.
And of course the man who stopped the session yesterday, Ayrton Senna, who did a couple of laps this morning, and I think he's looking good. He should qualify. I think he was actually one of the stars this morning, doing 8 laps, being 5th quickest.
I think saying he might qualify is a little bit of an understatement. Undoubtedly he will qualify.
Giovanna Amati, she improved by a couple of seconds this morning. She didn't go out at all. She's one of the 4 people who currently are not qualified for the Grand Prix.
Nella stessa pagina di giornale, non era piacevole. Senza... Cioè, ovviamente i giornali sportivi sapevano perché e mi era impossibile qualificarmi, perché la mia macchina...
Brabham introduced the first lady driver in Formula One in 15 years. Giovanna Amati found her transition into Formula One somewhat difficult.
Well, technically the car is really faster. The gearbox is completely different. The brakes are completely different. The engine, the use of the engine is different. The grip of the tires, everything. I mean everything.
Well, the media, they obviously being the only female, you always get the female sort of questions. So how does it feel to be a female in this sport, and how have people treat you? They treat you differently.
Is it difficult for a woman driver to break into motorsport?
Yeah. You come across some tough questions, but you know, you just try and have a laugh with them, really. You know, when you've had a tough race, try and find the positives out of it.
What are some misconceptions people have about you?
Many. Yes, many. So my comment about racing Formula 1 versus racing Formula E was completely out of context, because it was not the meaning of the title that journalist wrote. It was more about which feeling do you get when you're driving a Formula E and then a Formula 1. And it was not about asking me, it was as well about asking the drivers. I mean, there are many drivers in Formula E that have raced before in Formula 1, and if a car is less, it has less downforce, it's going to be less physical demanding. It's just, I mean, everybody knows that. So, but they, obviously, you know, that journalist wanted to make a big fuss about it, and that's what he made. He won, and I learned about the lessons with journalists, that sometimes they want to take your words in a different way. And yeah, one more lesson.
Some people, the ones that they respect me a bit more, and they know what I'm capable of. I think it's positive that people are respecting me, and I hope that those sort of questions they start to disappear, because it's more common to see females in motorsport.
Signorina Lombardi, Formula 1 è una cosa per la ragazza.
Visto che corro, giudicate voi.
Ma fisicamente, per una ragazza come lei circolare, 2 ore.
Per me, io corro, non mi sento né stanca né affaticata, perché forse è una questione di allenamento, di giusto allenamento.
Cosa dice i tuoi colleghi quando vedono una ragazza in una macchina in questo sport?
Oh, ormai sono abituati perché è da parecchi anni, ormai non è la prima corsa e sono abituati.
Perché questo sport? Perché questo motorsport per
me?
signorina?
Perché io l'adoro, adoro l'automobilismo, adoro le macchine da corsa, mi piace la sensazione di guidare.
E la signorina Lombardi in questo sport solamente come una bella bambola?
No, io no. Se volete giudicarmi voi, ma io ci tengo a essere un pilota e non affatto una bambola.
E tanti auguri.
Grazie.
In 1975, the March engineering team of England was looking for a driver for its two-man Grand Prix team. After a convincing campaign by his wife, Mr. Max Mosley, the team owner, was shocked to find out his wife's recommendation for racing's top driver was a woman. Later, convinced by her confidence and strength, Max Mosley decided to put Lella on the team with March crew chief Roy Wardle. At the opening race of the campaign in South Africa, Lombardi became the first woman since 1958 to successfully qualify for a Grand Prix. A woman from a middle-class family armed with only passion and purpose became one of the world's top racers. 1975 would prove to be an eventful season for the March team. The Mosleys would go on to introduce Lella to an Italian nobleman, Count Vittorio Zanin of the Lavazza Coffee Company, and he sponsored Lella's entry in F1 with a March 751. Now, with a sponsor and a brand new car, Lella had everything she needed to achieve her dream. She was becoming an idol for women across the world.
Ho chiesto a qualcuno dei conoscenti se mi potevano presentare a lei, quindi l'ho incontrata in quel frangente, sì. Però se si parla di eredità di Lella, beh, allora è ben diverso perché siamo un po' tutti diversi. Siamo veramente tutti, ognuno ha la propria vita, quindi, però devo dire che Lella è una persona che ha lasciato un impatto nel mondo dello sport. Sono persone dalle quali poter prendere esempio. Non soltanto lei hanno lasciato un impatto nella mia vita.
But I remember her more recently smiling and happy when she had her own team.
When you have people that are committed to you, you have a team that is committing money on you and saying, okay, I'm going to pay your racing season because I believe in you. That's enough to make you go.
In racing, it not only depends on you, but on the car, on the team, on the engineer that is running you.
I can imagine that Lella's experience was very different to Formula One drivers today or drivers of today. It's funny when you look back at the old footage, you know, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and you just think that they were mad, absolutely mad. They're just, you know, health and safety nowadays would go absolutely crazy.
Well, I'm sure it was like even more difficult, for sure. Like driving the cars of that time must have been like so hard.
As spectators waited in anticipation on the Montjuic circuit, the Formula teams noticed a huge problem with the track. guardrails were not completed, and proper safety precautions were not in place. The drivers gathered in a conference room to protest the race's dangerous safety concerns. The teams were willing to boycott, and even defending world champion Emerson Fittipaldi declared the situation unacceptable. He refused to race. All the cockpit crew and engineers from every team volunteered to fix the guardrails throughout the track. But with little time before the race, not every corner was checked properly. Back at the starting grid, with life and limb on the line, drivers dared to line up. One of them was Lella Lombardi.
I think back in the day for Lella Lombardi, it was quite difficult for her because women didn't have the rights yet. So also the criticism, they didn't believe that women should take part in male-dominant activities such as football or basketball. So seeing Lella Lombardi be the first to prove that women are capable just set a bullet point saying we can make it. It is in every woman's destiny to reach Formula One as a driver, not just also as a female, but we've created a path as being the first female Arabs to compete in a high-intensity level in motorsports. If I could say one word to Lella Lombardi, I would tell her that she just broke the barrier and that she's already proven that women can make it in Formula One and that they can also reach the points, which is the top 10. So they are quick enough and fast enough and fit enough to make it. The female role models or mentors who helped me move on was my mom. She was a huge inspiration. She helped me physically and mentally throughout the races.
They love what they're doing. We saw it at the beginning as a hobby. We thought it's going to be a small thing and it's going to go. After a while, they became so into it. They became very professional. They were in a grid with 21 boys and they can win a race. Coming from the back, we want them to become what they want to become. We know that they can do it. And I'm 100% sure that they can make it to Formula One. They are breaking paradigms. They are opening a door to other girls to achieve in the Middle East, in the Arabic world.
She knows every part of the racing. She knows how a penalty works. She knows how the steward works. She knows the rules and everything. So she knows more than I do. So it's quite, it's really cool, actually. So it's very nice how we debate on subjects about racing.
Motorsport is like a drug. So once, you know, you've got hooked and you've got the taste, you've got the bug for it, you just keep coming back. Hiya, you all right? Yeah, good, thanks.
Alice, welcome back to Better Performance.
Cheers, thank you very much. Good to be back. It's been a long time since I've been in a simulator, so...
Well, today we've got the sim ready for you at Hockenheim.
Yeah, perfect. Well, that is the first race of the W Series, so fingers crossed I get through and I can be on the grid and this will be useful. So.
Excellent. Well,
cool.
Let's get started.
Excellent. The W Series is totally new, so nothing at all like this has happened within motorsport really before. There's some fantastic people behind it. You know, you got Adrian Newey and David Coulthard, massive names, well-known names in Formula One.
Everything in the championship is paid for. You don't have to pay for anything, so it's just an opportunity to get better and improve yourself. And I believe the more you drive, the better you become. Yeah, the first thing you think about, like, I don't want to separate racing between men and women because I believe we can race against each other. But then when I spoke to the organizers, they don't want to separate it either. They just want to give more women an opportunity to race.
Yeah, it's about opportunity, like I said before. It's had its critics. You know, it's how people say, well, no, they shouldn't be segregating the females. But it's not. It's giving us an opportunity to then go and move on to race in other things.
So W Series isn't about showing that females need to drive in a separate series. It's about giving you an opportunity where an opportunity is missing. And if I put it on an egoistic point of view, on a personal point of view, what kind of driver would I be if I don't pursue the opportunity to race with really cold cars? Because we're talking about Formula 3 cars on cold tracks. I wouldn't be a driver if I turned down that opportunity. For what? For sponsors, for segregation, for morality? I wouldn't be a driver.
So I don't really see, you know, the series as a bad thing, because it's mainly about opportunity, giving the opportunity to females that are maybe in the position like myself, that just don't have the funding. And I know a few of them there that are in a similar situation to me, whereas they've got so high up that just fallen short because of sponsorship. So I'm really looking forward to getting out there and hopefully getting through the next couple of phases to get myself a slot on the grid.
The collection that you are going to see was put together just to be part of a museum, so with the purpose to be on display for a national museum. This is the Isotta Fraschini that was owned by Francesca Mirabile Mancusio. She was from Sicily, and she was the first woman in Italy having the driving license. That was 1913. Yeah, it's all the engineering offices and students. We have 35,000 students.
Well, I am a professor at the university, and currently I am the deputy rector of my university. So I'm managing like 2,000 people, 35,000 student activities which are at the university level.
Hello, my name is Iride Blu. I'm 20 years old and I'm studying here at Politecnico di Torino. I do a bachelor engineering in electronic engineering. I've always been attracted to motorsports and things like that. I do electronics, so I'm more on the electronics part rather than mechanical, but I really enjoy being here. I really enjoy studying this. There are so many fields like STEM, like engineering, and motorsports as well, where women do not represent 50%. And I honestly don't know why, because we have the capabilities and we have the possibilities, and maybe we just need examples and people to look up to.
I have received many messages of young girls saying that they were inspired by me, that they want to reach Formula One day, and that just gives you, I think, an extra motivation, you know, that you have that much support, people really believing in you, that you get more confidence, and you want to keep inspiring them and opening doors for them in the future, to show the young girls that they can do karting, they can be engineers, they can be mechanics, and gender is not an issue. I think that's what we need in order to secure that the next generation comes through, is that they know that motorsport is an option for them, because some of them, they didn't know. You asked them, and I thought that was only for guys. No, no, you can join and you can have fun too.
Also, with working actually with younger drivers, especially Ella, who I work with in karting, you know, she says, who's your hero? And she says me, and actually that's like, wow, well, I haven't even got to the top yet. So, you know, you can imagine if, let's say I got to Formula One, how many more females that would inspire, not just Ella, but other females that might have not taken the opportunity to go karting yet, or even thought about going karting.
You shouldn't be really focused on results and the future. I think you should start by just enjoying yourself. And yeah, if you enjoy yourself, you will do better. So that's the main thing. And then, yeah, never give up.
All the athletes, all the best drivers used to say, have fun, enjoy. And I was like, what kind of suggestion is that? I mean, I want you to tell me something real, something I can do tomorrow. But there's nothing more true. Because if you have fun, you put more passion, you put more dedication, you put more attention to what you're doing, and it just comes well.
I would say to those who want to take part in motorsports is to keep your head down and go for it, not to let people's words let you down and make you have second thoughts about the sport, but to just use that as motivation to push harder and to drive like a girl.
E soprattutto vorrei dire di non, se devo dare un consiglio, di non accettare mai compromessi e di non fermarsi ai piccoli vantaggi, perché se ti fermi ai piccoli vantaggi non compirai mai grandi imprese.
Well, I think it's a clear advice, and it's to never give up, because I think that even though you go through, like, you know, through difficult moments, I don't know how, but life puts you in the right way if you have a clear mind. Like, whatever you want, just go for it. And even if you see, like, very blurry and not clear, there will always be, like, a light.
You have to follow your passion. There's absolutely nothing impossible, and that hard work will pay off. But you just sometimes have to be patient.
I love motor racing, and that's all I want to do. I'm not terribly conscious of there being a difference between male and female in this sort of thing. The thing I like is the feeling when you pass the checkered flag first. That's something I don't have any problem sharing with my male colleagues. Lella Lombardi went on to drive the Firecracker 400 NASCAR race at the Daytona International Speedway in 1977, where there were two other female drivers in the field with her, American Janet Guthrie and Belgian Christine Beckers. In 1979, Lella's attention turned to sports car racing, her first notable performance coming at the Mugello circuit, where she and teammate Giorgio Franca drove the Osella BMW PA7 to 4th place in the 1,000-kilometer event. Things went even better at Pergusa, where a Lombardi-Grimaldo duo won the race, with Lella recording fastest lap in the process. The next win at Vallelunga was icing on the cake, as Lella once again teamed with Giorgio Franca, took 1st place, and finished 4 laps ahead of the nearest rival.
It's made you realise that, hang on a second, that females can compete at that level, that can achieve their dreams. She did a fantastic job to get in the top 6, to get the half a point. Okay, people say, well, it's only half a point, but no, it's still a massive, massive achievement.
She's a legend. Everyone knows about her, even now, and so that's an amazing thing. And if she was here right now, she would be surprised of how far they've come in motorsports, I think, and she would definitely want to see more female up there in Formula One.
I would like to know more about those challenges that she faced, because I know that reaching Formula One nowadays is very difficult, and I want to know what she had to go through to really reach Formula One.
Towards the end of her phenomenal and wildly inspiring career, Lella's health took a turn for the worse, and she was forced to retire in 1988. Fiercely committed to the sport she loved, Lella founded her own racing team, Lombardi Autosport, in 1989. 3 years later, Lella passed the ultimate checkered flag and made her transition after a secret battle with breast cancer. She died in Milan at age 50 and was survived by her partner, Fiorenza.
Well, the funeral, I remember that it was incredible crowded. I mean, all the little street of that village were full of people, full of... it was really difficult even to move. There was like hundreds of people inside the village that usually was very quiet. And so it was incredible. Well, the funeral was just, I remember, just a long, long queue of people inside this small space.
Formula One drivers epitomize the passion, confidence, and determination required to compete in the greatest and most challenging motorsport on the planet. But it is Lella Lombardi and the incredible lineage of women who follow that show us what it truly means to be beyond driven.
Lella. This is something I would like to tell to Lella in a very personal way. I want to thank Lella.
That thanks for her and thanks for her courage and her passion.
She's the reason why a lot of things that were sport impossible are now possible.
What an amazing thing that she achieved. You know, the achievement that you have done has inspired people.
And I would tell her that she should keep making us proud and keep opening those doors for women in the pinnacle of motorsport.
Because your lesson, Lella, is still with us. Thank you very much, Lella.
I keep running, running. I have been set free. Oh, I keep running, running. I have been set free. Oh, I keep running, running. Oh, no chains holding me. Oh, I keep running, running. I have been set free. Oh, I keep running, running. No chains holding me. Oh, I keep running. Chains holding me. Oh, I keep running, running. Oh, I keep running.